Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Good evening. Wherever you are in this, I could say clown world, but for today I'm going to say this beautiful world. So I have about 2 hours to kill before my job interview, which I really hope I get this one. It's a very low profile, minimum wage, back of the kitchen type of job, but it is exactly what I need at this juncture in my personal journey. So I was really sad to leave the company I worked for previously. I was with them for about 2 years, and it was a family-owned business, true entrepreneurial story with the owner, who happened to be my age and was into same kind of music and everything. It was a really cool atmosphere. Everybody there was like family to me, and it's a tough transition. So I'm dealing with that, but I am somebody who has learned throughout my almost 50 years here how to adapt and embrace change, even when they happen like tower moments in tarot, right? Just unexpected. There's really not much I haven't experienced. So, this is just another transition. And besides, for me and anyone who knows me online or in person knows very well that whatever job I work here in this world is secondary to I'll call it light work, shadow work, and Christ work here that God has planned for my life. So I render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and I render unto God what is God's. That's how I roll. So the OG is always first and foremost priority in my life. Always has been. And for that simple fact alone, that has really been a contributing factor in my losing streak in this world. Because if you are more spiritually minded, you are going to be just naturally less material minded. You know what I'm saying. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today in this video. Is there's not, by the way, I'm not turning my camera around because there's not really a view. I will show you where this is Largo, and those of us who are locals here and who love this city of Largo, like myself, we lovingly call it Larghetto. So that's my view right now, which is just a bunch of morning traffic. So I figure you could just deal with looking at my mug today. And I'm a little nervous, I will say. I've got the butterflies because of my interview. Not that I'm nervous about my qualifications or anything. It's the anticipation, meeting new people, stepping into a new environment, and kind of feeling out that vibe. That for me always takes a deep breath moment. So when I was younger, I had a real problem. I had real bad anxiety and irritable bowel syndrome. And even when I was a kid and my parents still did my clothes shopping, I hated that because back then, like, especially the early 80s, it was a lot of satiny, silky, polyestery. You can see every drop of sweat vividly clear. So, when you're a kid and you have sweat rings because you're nervous and have anxiety all the time, yeah, you deal with bullying and things, and you learn how to dress accordingly. So that ended up graduating into an anxiety disorder where I was prescribed benzodiazepines for many, many years, anti-anxiety medications, everything from Xanax to Valium. I've been on it all. They've prescribed it all to me. I've been a living, breathing, walking guinea pig in this life for the medical community. That is a goddamn fact. So, and that's ironic too. My sister and I, when we were younger, we all had nicknames for one another. I'm sure many of you have nicknames for your siblings. And her nickname for me, one of them, was Guinea Pig. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense in retrospect, looking back in hindsight. True that. So, okay, so nerves and anxiety. Then around circa 2018 is when my awakening kicked into high gear, and I started walking away from the professional medical field and prescriptions and medical doctors, which I did in 2018. And then subsequently following, I went on a more natural path: meditation, yoga, spending time out in nature, working with crystals, learning different breathing techniques. I read great books on dealing with anxiety, especially for people with Asperger's, or other spectrum related. And in my opinion, ADHD and ADD are all spectrum related. They're all behaviors due to, thinking outside the box of what this world wants you to be and think like and dress like. Can you see it? That's how minuscule they want to make you. Label, 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 condense, confine, package into a little... No. I am a very much be yourself, regardless and despite type of person. That's another thing that's not gotten me many, many fans in this world. Because there is a level of envy. And now that I know that, which back then I just thought people hated me. But when someone is miserable because they're not expressing themselves, or they're trying to fit into some role that they're not, so they're essentially, whether knowingly or unknowingly, not being authentic to themselves, that causes a gaping hole inside where most people will turn codependent and try to fill that substance that's lacking within them with whatever, ? Fill in the blank. Sex, drugs, alcohol, social media, gambling, shopping, whatevs. So, what I see going on in this world currently, like hyper crazy on crack, is externalizing everything. The old, look here, look there, over here, over there, over here, over there. No this, no that, no up, no down. Everywhere but here. And this right here, well, actually, this right here is where all the work takes place that is required for our development, evolution, growth, ascension, enlightenment, inherent power within ourselves, our God power. So, old conspiracy theorist Jen got her feelers up on this one. Why would they have you turn external, looking everywhere? Oh, maybe so you don't rise into your wholeness and your fullness, and therefore, ding, 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 your purpose. There are so many purposeless people. Say that 5 times fast. Purposeless people in this world. Purposeless people takes one to know one. I was one for many, many, many years. And I would refer to a lot of my life as very dark, very broken, very empty, very hollow, very fake, very superficial, unfulfilling, always lacking, depressed, broken. And until we all start individually turning inward, and instead of doing that, pointing the finger, okay? Because I will be a reminder once again, I've been doing this for 7 years, trying to prepare people this entire time for the times that we're in. Because for whatever reason, and for some reason, God decided to choose me to be a messenger to experience things and then give that experience to you to have to put in your vault to use as added context, so you have more of a complete picture rather than just pieces of something. You can hear somebody's story who's been there, done that. So that's what I bring. That's what God has given to me for a mission, is to maybe offer a perspective that wasn't considered previously. Or somebody might say, oh, I never thought of that. Or, oh, that never occurred to me that could be a possibility. That's me. That's where I come in. Because my specific duty is to be an observer and then share my findings, report my findings. So it makes sense to me, just in the simple fact of me knowing myself. I'm always the person that picks up on what everybody else missed, or happens to catch that little typo, or, that little blip or glitch, and, everyone else is oblivious, and I'm like, oh, so it makes sense. If you're choosing people to perform specific tasks, I, as a manager, a former manager, can tell you that when I would place my employees in specific stations, I placed them in those specific stations based on their strengths, weaknesses, likes, and dislikes. Somebody might have been great at this station, but they hate it. And they hate working it, so they're going to be miserable. I took all that into consideration. Maybe let them work half and then split it with somebody else or whatever. We work it out. But just try to remember here in where there's a whole lot of propaganda, a whole lot of stories being spun, psyops are always at play, and then you have actual people out there who are telling the truth. And this is why I always say discernment is key, because there are a lot of grifters out there today. A lot of grifters. So I'm somebody, before I even watch a video or subscribe or like or follow or interact in any way, I don't do anything unless I feel guided to do that. If I don't, then it just doesn't get watched or interacted with. Second, I look at details. Like if I'm watching somebody on YouTube, let's say, who's giving spiritual advice, that is a leadership role that should not be taken lightly, number one. And there's a lot of people teaching spirituality out there right now. And the easiest way I know to find a grifter is I look at their subscriber count, whether they have merch, their prices on that, comments that their subscribers are leaving, how long their channel has been active, what their content consists of, and then even certain things like, this is just my personal opinion, okay? So in my 7-year journey, I've been very envious of other YouTube creators because they weren't dealing with what I was dealing with, like a government free phone, homelessness, not having a team, not having super cool tech tools and editing tools, and not even having a partner to like help me record. It was just me, myself, and I, homeless, broke, out on the streets, a real journalist. Okay, I've been reporting and gathering footage and sharing footage and researching for years now, and I don't draw any income because I don't really agree with that. I think knowledge is a gift and it should be shared, and it doesn't come with a price tag. That's number one. But other than that, karmically also, I don't really want something in return for what I'm giving, which is just, as a mom and a grandma and a almost 50-year life experiencer, great sound advice from an unscripted, raw, authentic, real, pretty much broke, but unconditionally loving person in this world who loves animals, loves children, loves this planet, and wants people to be better because I'm somebody who can see potential where other people can't. And it pisses me off and it makes me sad at the same time when I see so much brilliance in this world being wasted. So I get a little salty with that because that's what happened to me. My brilliance, which was documented when I was a child and my parents were having me tested and high IQ and blah blah blah. Well, what good did it do me in this world? And I blame society. I am a product of my environment. And growing up in this country, in the time that I grew up in my generation, which is X, we've been black sheep since birth. Ain't gonna happen. So there's that. And they tried everything, and by they, I mean those in charge, those in control, who want power and control and are so lusty and greedy for it that they will throw their fellow American under the bus to get it. Those kind of people. Whoever's running the shit show here. They have killed off people in my generation. We all know the celebrities I'm referring to. They have drugged us up, kept us sedated, kept us suppressed, wouldn't let us express ourselves if our lives depended on it without some kind of punishment or consequence. That's the generation I grew up in. So we kind of paved the way for our kids. So we took all the shit when we're getting tattoos and piercings and getting fired from jobs and managers shitting on us at our jobs because we look different. So now, is that a requirement anymore? Nope. You're welcome. Things like that. But I got a little off topic here, but said everything I really meant to say. God says one thing: be still and know that I am God. Well, I'll be the first one to tell you, you will never know yourself, which is knowing God, if you are never still and you never shut the world off, fast from the world, and go within. It's just never going to happen. So that's something to consider. If you value your soul's evolution, you will prioritize you. Much love, everybody, and much peace to the people of the world.